These creatures underwent changes according to change in time, space, and person, according to changes in climatic conditions, not only on this earth, but also on other planets which are inhabited by living beings. Suddenly, between one age and the next, there occurred an abnormal situation created by an ice age, when the temperature fell far below 0 degrees. During that ice age, whether long or short, the animals went into hibernation. Many of them became extinct and disappeared after hibernation. Because of their intellectual deficiency, those gigantic creatures of the Cretaceous age had to leave the world. They were vanquished in the struggle for existence. But those creatures which did survive underwent physical changes and also psychophysical or big biopsychic changes. The complexity of their cells increased and their bodies gradually became smaller, and eventually their mental power also increased. That is, the physical body first became very big, and after attaining a particular shape, the structure became complicated or complex, and from that moment, in the next stage or phase, as they moved along the path of introversion towards the supreme desideratum, their physical body went on diminishing in size and their psychic body was strengthened, their intellect increased. This is the adjustment or equilibrium or equipoise between biological structures and psychic metamorphosis. For example, huge reptiles which came onto this earth millions of years ago gradually became lizards, crocodiles, alligators, and salamanders. Another huge creature which gradually developed into a smaller size was the mammoth, which evolved into an elephant. But it did not become an elephant overnight. There was an intermediary stage between the mammoth and the elephant. Thus big animals became extinct, and in their place small animals appeared. Once I said that this is not the age of small countries or big animals. Big animals will have to yield their place to the small, and small countries will have to join together in federations and confederations, or else scientific planning and development will not be possible. Thus, in the gradual process of evolution, we can observe that the crude physicality of creatures is being converted into subtlety. Their physical strength is fast being metamorphosed into psychic vitality, and materiality is being converted into consciousness. Similarly, it can be understood that the underdeveloped creatures of the present, in whom this physical aspect is all important, will gradually be transformed into the phase of pratisanchara, into more subtle mental beings. Gradually their physical aspect will decrease and the psychic aspect will become predominant. This will be true of plants also. As there is increased complexity in the psychic sphere, there will be a corresponding increase of complexity in the physical sphere. As these two are inseparable and must maintain adjustment with each other, in this way the whole universe will gradually become predominantly mental. We see before our very eyes that the gigantic animals of the hoary past, which were undeveloped in intellect, consequently becoming human beings, too, will gradually become totally transformed into completely different creatures. Their psychic development will greatly increase, and they will engage themselves in the pursuit of higher knowledge and more psycho-spiritual pursuits. In this process, psychophysical adjustment will create a great change in the physical body also. For example, the skin of the ancient creatures was very thick, for with this thick skin they used to resist the cold. During the Ice Age, only those creatures with thick skin could survive. The early humans had less hair on their bodies, but the more they evolved psychically, their skin became thinner and the amount of hair increased. Buffaloes are the same as they were in the prehistoric age. They have no sense of responsibility. If while pulling a cart they happen to pass by a pond of water, they will plunge straight into the pool, dragging the cart behind. Cows, on the other hand, have developed somewhat psychically and are more intelligent than buffaloes. The skin of buffaloes is very thick, and the amount of hair on their bodies is less, but the skin of cows is thin, and there is more hair on their bodies. This indicates that they are comparatively evolved, so the change in the psychic sphere brings about a corresponding change in the physical sphere as well, and thus in the process of evolution at present, living beings are more physical than psychic, but in the future they will become more psychic than physical. Now the element of physicality is predominant, but in future the psychic element will become predominant, and the physical aspect will become secondary. All the ectoplasmic and endoplasmic potentialities of the entire creation are fast being converted into psychic potentialities.